Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio. So in the previous episode we did a lot of work on trying to repair what went horribly wrong in the last episode, and now I'm having a look around at what is sort of the most still unstable systems, and that is advanced circuits, because we're still having some trouble. It's not being produced very fast in module production, though it is being produced now, which is good. Again, after, well, I mean, it's always been produced, but it's always been taken away as well, and it looks like it is building up, so that's good. And then I'm wandering around checking that everything's fine. I find that sulfur is, while being produced fast enough, it looks like it's not being moved around fast enough, so we're going to have to do something about that. So I'm just having a quick look. There seems to be a skip there in the video. I'm not quite sure why that happened, but it's only a couple of seconds, so whatever. What I do is I put in a splitter, an underground belt, and then we get it so that it's being unloaded and loaded twice as fast as it was before. Problem solved, and I expect that we will never have any problems with having to have an extra chemical plant for sulfur or batteries. Anyway, we just had some science get done. We had follow robot count 18 done, meaning we only have 19, 20, and then rocket defense. Anyway, I was just doing something with the iron belts when suddenly there was an attack on the south wall that actually caused destruction. In my panic, I caused some destruction by running over a substation. So I go over and I find that they actually blew up the turrets. They reached over the wall and then also over an empty space and managed to hit the turret and destroy it. So that's a bit of a worry, because I thought that spacing my turrets back from the wall would protect them from things like that, but apparently the biters have a longer reach than I thought. So what I'm doing now is putting some extra wall around each of the guns in the hope that this will mean that they can't get near enough to directly attack the guns, and instead have to go through some of the wall first. So with that fixed and most of that side of that wall protected now, I make my way back home, repair my car because I forgot about that, and then I go over to check on iron because it's still not great. There's still some problems with that. So I have a look around the loading system, watch the train as it comes along and see what happens with it. And what I do is I change the settings on it, so I have it that it stands around in this station for over 3 minutes. Before returning to the main base, at which point it only unloads for 10 seconds and then comes back again. The idea being that it leaves space for another train on the at the other end, another train to fit into the schedule without much disruption, because it doesn't need to visit that often with only a little bit of ore left to deliver. Anyway, what I also do is run over to a nearby little ore deposit that we have of iron, and I grab myself. Well, I don't grab myself. I already have some mining drills that I put with that filled with effectivity modules, and then after a bit of a trek, managed to connect up to the power grid, and I'm going to bring these back home. And the thing is, it's sort of like going against what I was just doing there. I was setting the train so that it barely ever visited because it's old and dying, and there's just a little bit of iron left to clean out at this point. But then I've decided that there's this. Well, I'd spotted really that there was this. Deposit of iron here that I could make use of, so I'm going to give the train one last little lease of life before it finally keels over by giving it access to this last little smidge of iron that I've managed to spot in the middle of the forest. And there's very little actually now in terms of ore deposits that are inside the walls. I mean, well, there's plenty of ore still in the walls, but very little that is untapped at this point. So anyway, just do a quick check on the mining drills there, and they're still going. One of them's going to be going for a very long time because it's got a huge amount to mine it. So I might stick an extra miner on there at some point to speed that up. So anyway, now I go over to this outpost here because it's finished. All of the ore is mined, so we can finally clear all of this away, and we get to listen to the weird noise of a bunch of belts being deconstructed constantly. I can't hear it right now, but I could hear it when I was watching through the first time round, and it's a weird noise and sort of annoying. I hope I haven't left the volume on too loud, because I do sometimes forget to sort out even out the volumes for the narration and the game. So anyway, we can now deconstruct that, and that makes the system for merging belts a lot easier, because now we've got 2 belts being merged into 2 belts. So all we have to do is have them run alongside each other with one splitter, and we can clear out all the other stuff because it's now pointless, and now it looks a lot neater, and that's very nice. So I go and check how things are going over in the unloading bay, and it's not good. It's basically emptying between train visits, and that's a big problem, and we need to do something about that really. So I hop in my car and make my way over to this little iron deposit here. I think I might have actually been running past to go and look at copper, but I spotted that this was here and thought, I know what to do with this. So we get all the mining drills on. It's pretty much the same as the other little deposit that we had over to the west. It's a bit closer to the power grid this time, so it's very easy to connect up. Maybe a bit overkill with the substation, but it's neat, so you know, whatever. So then I get all of these belts coming out of it, and then I hook it up to the nearest sort of iron receiving area, which is the outpost, the big one. And what this will mean is that it'll sort of bolster the supply going into the carriages, and hopefully that will be enough to sort out the problem that we're having at the moment, where there's not enough being delivered in that train. And even with all of these mining drills going, it's not quite enough to keep everything supplied. Maybe by adding in these extra 6 and also the 6 from the other place, it will be able to tip the balance back over into like having more supply than demand, so that we get the extra supplies built up again. Well, of course, there is still one iron deposit that is of a decent size that we can go and exploit at some point, and we'll probably be doing that before the end, though there's not much time left now. You can see we're halfway through follower robot count 19 at this point. Anyway, I'm watching the unloading and it's still not brilliant, and we'll do some work on that later and try and get that sorted. You can see they're all emptying and then they all fill up again. It looked less of them were empty than before, so maybe it is starting to fill up very, very slowly. Anyway, back into base, and I get swarmed by logistics drones for a second, and looking around I find that copper is actually built up now and it's backed up everywhere, and this is brilliant because advanced circuit production can now reach its maximum potential for science. Anyway, I'm just looking at the map there, seeing how things are going. And the reason is that I've come over here and found that plastic production is down, and the reason is that oil production is down. Basically, the oil stocks are out, so we need to go increase the amount that we're mining. So you can see I'm making a bunch of pump jacks, and then I hop into my car and out into the wilderness, and you can see there's just 2 little deposits here that I can exploit. So I plonk down the pump jacks for that, and then wander off because there are a couple more little splodges around the place. So there's one. And then if we run on down here over into the forest, a little bit of a search around, get a tree out of the way, and there's another one. And then somewhere over here, it takes a bit of searching, but I eventually spotted, and there it is. So we have 5 new oil deposits that we can make use of. And once these are all hooked up and going, we will be mining, or drilling even, all of the oil within the confines of the north and south walls. And this is annoying because it means we're going to have to go and outsource it a bit. We're going to have to go beyond the wall to get our supplies, which means we're going to have to start building walls around our outposts again, which is annoying because that was why I built the north and south wall in the first place, so I had a big safe haven where I could go and grab all my materials without a problem. But anyway, now we set up the pipes to connect everything up to the system, and I could have used trains to deliver this, or maybe even like conveyor belts with barrels on or something, but it just didn't seem to be worth the trouble, because if I wanted to connect up all of the different oil deposits, I keep saying that I'll connect together all the oil supplies. You can see we get an attack there. Connect up all the supplies, we would have been practically back at base already at that point, so I thought I'd just connect them all straight to base and cut out the middleman there. So anyway, you spotted that, you probably saw that we had an attack there, well, 2 attacks in fact, by the same party who took out one of the radars and then decided to just keep on going and came all the way to the north wall and then got killed by the turrets there. So at some point we're going to have to go out and repair that radar outpost, and probably also go out and kill some more biters, because I don't like it when they take out the outpost, because I have to go on a whole big mission to go, well, I say big, it's like 2 minutes to go and fix it, but it's annoying, and I have better things to do with all my really important things, like keeping this base that I built from exploding in my face. So anyway, sorting out getting my supply of iron back, and I find that the chest here needs a bit more capacity in it, because it sort of emptied itself into my inventory, and then I still had a bunch more that I wanted to pick up. Basically, I've turned my entire stock of iron into underground pipes at this point. It's really that many just to move things around so much. But anyway, we're nearly finished now. I'm just connecting up two more lines and then I'll go around with the individual bits of pipe to do all the corners. And that's an annoying thing about pipes, actually, because you make underground pipes out of pipes, you can't make a supply of pipes and then underground pipes. You need to do all your underground pipes before you make the normal pipes to put in the corners, because otherwise you'll accidentally craft them back into underground pipes anyway. So you sort of have to go over your entire pipe system twice, once to put in the underground pipes and then once to actually connect together all the corners and things. So you can see now I'm hooking them all up to the power system, I'm putting the corners in, I'm also putting effectivity modules into all of them as per usual, and once it's all connected up I can go over to sort of the main connection that's going between the going through the middle of the iron unloading rail loop. And once I've connected that up, they will all start, well, the oil will start flowing out of this pipe system and into the actual system. Though there's so much pipe here that it's actually it takes a while for the pipes to fill up, so that there's like enough pressure to push it along into the rest of the system. But that's to be expected. So it's hooked up now, and I go over and look at the oil stocks, and they start going up. So that's good, and that should hopefully mean that well, actually, looking at it already, plastic is back up to full speed, so that's all fine. But there's no backups of it anywhere now. It's all flowing directly to where it's immediately used, which is a problem. Because we have a shortage, it means that all of the advanced circuits on the map are being put into science at the moment, which is annoying because it's ruined all the progress that module production was making again. So anyway, I just checked the science system, and I found that alien science was starting to run down a bit because we're running out just a little bit of alien artifacts. One of the assemblers still has like hundreds left in it, but the other one is now emptied. And so I decided to go over and fix this. So off we go. And while we're on our way, follower robot count 19 gets done, meaning we now have only 2 bits of science left to do. So I wander over to the wall because I remembered there was an attack there, do some repair work there, put some extra ammo in to keep everything working fine there, and then off we go. So we're very close now to the end in terms of science. And I predict we'll finish in the middle of next week, something like that, because you know we're getting through them quite fast still. So you know, but anyway, time to go killing biters, and I find that without using my my destroyer drones, I'm suddenly extremely weak. I think maybe I do need some of the laser defense things that I didn't think I needed, and perhaps I'm using too many exoskeletons and things like that, and I have like 2 reactors I think as well going and stuff like that. So maybe my design isn't too balanced for like attacking biter bases without any backup, but my usual system, as I'm now switching back to, is to use destroyer drones, which makes things easy and makes my setup make the most sense. So that's all fine there, so we just run around and grab all of that, and that's all brilliant, and then hop back in the car to make our way to the next base, and here it is, and then kill all those. And it's just so easy with the destroyer drones, but the thing is, after that first attack that I did, I realised that I've sort of gone soft a bit in terms of my combat abilities, or possibly it is just my armor setup, I don't know, but I wasn't doing that well in the fight, and that's annoying. It means I'm sort of reliant on these destroyer drones now. But anyway, we make our way back home, and we can go and unload our loot into the assembler, and that'll keep us going a bit. It's not that much actually relative to what I've had in the past, but it's enough to keep us going for now. Anyway, looking around, I find that plastic still hasn't backed up anywhere, and that's a bit annoying, but I can see that advanced circuits have almost filled up, and that's brilliant, because once they have in that chest, the modules will start moving again, and once all the modules have finished being done again, because there are a few holes now with me harvesting stuff over time, once that's all done, things will be back up to things will start filling up again, because the module production will not be making advanced circuits all the time. So anyway, what I did was I dumped 50 extra plastic into the system from my inventory because I wasn't using it, and that should help speed things up towards that goal and get it done quicker. And then I go over and check science to see how everything's going there, and alien science has filled up nicely. Advanced circuits is still not as much as I would like it to be, but that is of course because of plastic, and that should be fixed soon enough, I think. So anyway, oh actually I hadn't dumped it in yet. There we go, I dumped it now. I thought I'd done it earlier, but I guess I hadn't. So now it all starts flooding through, and you can see it's a big increase in how much is going, which means that all of the advanced circuit assemblers can be going at full pelt, and probably even start a build-up that they can use for a while. And my hope is that I can actually fix module production after I thought it was pretty much doomed and to serve science forever. That's good. Also, looking at power, it looks like we're actually very close to the edge here. The accumulators are being fully charged after the sun starts to set, so that's a bit close, and I'll have to do something about that in the next episode, maybe. I'm not really sure. And I might start putting like productivity modules into the assemblers for advanced circuits or something like that, to sort out the fact that we don't really have enough plastic. But anyway, until then I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.